Wrestling fans, Boston Wrestling MWF Summer of 7 p.m., 7 nights a week has exploded online. Join the superstars and legends on Wrestling Insiders every night at 7 p.m. Spread the word. As first reported to our Boston Wrestling MWF family on Patreon, big things are happening as we wrap up our biggest spring ever and kick off our Summer of 7 p.m. beginning Memorial Day night, when brand new Wrestling Insider episodes premiere at 7 p.m., 7 days per week. We also kick off our Make-A-Wish Drive in high gear to help grant wishes to awesome kids that have been waiting over a year in many cases. After an Extreme Saturday with New Jack and a Demolition doubleheader with Axe, put the women and children to bed. As fresh from the Shawn Michaels A&E biography, Marty Jannetty returns for a Party with Marty triple header, Friday, June 18th, Saturday, June 19th, and then joining us again for the WWE Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, Sunday, June the 20th, taping episodes of Wrestling Insiders, watch-alongs, and cyber autograph signings. It's going to be a huge weekend that demands fan involvement. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com for complete information and pre-ordering option. Let's help keep wrestling legends working and great wrestling talk show content being produced. We can't do it without you. Help us explode into summer, 7 nights a week at 7 p.m. Boston Wrestling Sports and the MWF explodes into a new year of unknown with professional wrestling content galore, and we need you to join our family. Every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. after we review the previous night's Monday Night Raw, it's Wrestling Insiders at your house with the unpredictable WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas. Wednesday nights after WWE NXT and AEW at 10 p.m., you never know who's going to show up on Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. Every Thursday night at 10 p.m. after our NXT and Dynamite review, it's Marty Jannetty's No Holds Barred Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll journey through the 80s and 90s on Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Friday nights after the lights go down at the Thunderdome on SmackDown, it's John Cena Sr.'s Wrestling Insiders Fabulous Fridays. Plus, look for classic clips, bonus live episodes, pay-per-view watch-alongs, and more. If you want early, ad-free access to all of our Wrestling Insider talk shows, our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, and to help keep wrestling legends working during the worst of times, for less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, join our growing family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. Expect the unexpected in 2021.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to Wrestling Insider Current Events. Don't be confused, our Summer of 7 p.m., 7 nights a week on Wrestling Insiders continues. Each and every night at 7 p.m., we bring you our brand new shoot interview of the night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to try and ease into the transition, and I can't promise it every night, but I'm still going to try and bring you the 10 p.m. premieres until you guys get used to the Summer of 7 p.m., 7 nights a week, and we're interested to see if that is easier for more fans to find us for the premiere of our great talk shows with Marty Jannetty and the variety of guests on Special Edition, John Cena Sr., the Tony Atlas Classics, Oscar of Men on a Mission, Weekend Review, Stern but Fair with Tiger Mulligan, and so on. But I'm very happy we're back in business with Dave Carter for our WWE NXT review, but we're also going to be back in business Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. It's almost like a wedding, folks. Save the date as Boston Wrestling MWF not only goes back to the 80s for WrestleFest, but because of all of the coronavirus delays, it is going to be our 20th anniversary in-ring event. It is literally going to be the biggest night in the history of this company, Dave. I hope you have told your boss you're going to need a day or two off to prepare for this one. Again, folks, if you want to prepare along with another date to save, one coming up very soon, it's going to be not one, not two, but 3 big nights, Friday, June the 18th through Sunday, June the 20th. It's going to be the man who's been partying since he came out of the womb, Mr. Marty Jannetty. He'll be with us for 3 live episodes, along with all the great wrestling insiders we're going to tape, and he'll join us for the Hell in the Cell watch-along, which I know Dave is looking forward to, and
Absolutely.
And it'll also be the culmination of what's going to turn into now a several-week-long Make-A-Wish raffle, where we didn't have the success we hoped for the other night during that god-awful AEW pay-per-view. We're going to do one big raffle and one big night during Hell in a Cell. It's going to be a lot of fun, so get ready to tune in for 3 nights of Marty live. Anytime Marty is live, you never know what to expect. Anytime Marty gets out of bed, you really never know what to expect, but that's a different story for a different time. And with that said, folks, as you continue to give us a big thumbs up on YouTube and subscribe to the channel while sharing the link with your friends, family, and wrestling fans across social media, I pass the baton to the one, the only, longtime Boston Wrestling MWF associate, Mr. Dave Carter. Dave, it's been a little bit with all the construction.
I know, I'm glad to be back, man. The whole month of May is like the busiest part of the season for me, as you guys don't know, but I'm a landscaper. I run a landscaping company, and it's the busiest time, so I've been real busy, but we're back. We're going to be back every day. We have a review to do. I'm excited now. We're getting to the summer. You know, SummerSlam's announced the date, so we're getting there. We're getting there for some big shows, a live touring schedule, but they didn't grace us in Boston this year. Do you believe that?
I was surprised, but you know what? If it was me, I would always have the colder climate events. I would have them during the nicer times of the year.
Well,
but
they owe us. They really do.
I don't know if they owe us, but I mean,
course
would
they
you
do.
rather, let me ask you this. Would you rather have the full SummerSlam experience or what will be an abbreviated SummerSlam experience this year?
I think it's going to be the full. We're opened up 100% now.
But what I'm saying is they have live events. We wouldn't have the 4 events in a row like was planned originally last year.
You don't think they? But see, so they're not. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right because I get what
they're all. They're in Phoenix. They're in Denver. So we wouldn't get the. So I don't know what you'd prefer.
I just think it'd be kind of cool going to a SummerSlam on a Saturday night, knowing I don't have to worry about nothing on Sunday, no work, you know what I mean? I think that's pretty cool.
Well, as I've noted many times, I wish every pay-per-view was on Saturday night. I think it's a much better night for people to gather and get together and have fun and, turn it into little pay-per-view parties like we have with our watch-alongs. But
Yep.
I don't know. But I tell you this, you've been busy with the landscaping. I continue to live at this little 4-foot table. Have I shown you a picture of this little table?
Yes, I can't believe you're working at that.
I feel like a dwarf. It's unbelievable. But soon enough, I'm going to have my desk back, so I'll be very happy about that. The only good thing is, even though it's nearly impossible for me to use, the podcast setup is on this little desk. I don't know if you could tell that. So I literally don't even have to move. The problem was when we taped Wrestling Insider's Stern But Fair, I can't see the red button that says record, so we taped quite a bit of the episode without me hitting the record buttons, but that's a different story for a different time. I see it lit up red now, so we have nothing to worry about. Let's light up the internet with our review of the June 1st, 2021 WWE NXT.
Like you just said, NXT from 6/1/21, 2021, that is. We kicked it off with a great match. We had Pete Dunne versus Johnny Gargano versus Kyle O'Reilly, a triple threat for the #1 contender to face Karrion Kross at TakeOver. I thought this match was awesome. Usually 3-ways are a little out there, outlandish. Somebody doesn't get involved, but this was great. These guys are fantastic. I thought the match was pay-per-view worthy on any show. WWE, SmackDown, Raw. I thought it was fantastic. There was no real flip-flops. It was just a good match. You know what I mean? Everything made sense. I really enjoyed that. It was long, but it was good. You know how some matches drag and you're like, come on, let's finish. Yep. I thought this was very good. And then I don't know if I'm still trying to figure out if I like this or not. After a night, I still haven't let it marinate enough, but Adam Cole gets involved, lays out everyone. Regal comes out with security, which Regal is very, very upset. I love his mean face, like his upset face. It's just so cool looking because you can tell, you don't know, it's really just a work, but he makes it look so realistic how upset he looks. I really like that a lot. But yeah, he comes out, lays out everyone, Adam Cole. The security takes him away. So we don't know. They don't even tell you the match is over or anything, really, because right after that. But do you want to talk about this before I get into what happened with Ember Moon? Because literally it happened right after.
Yeah, well, no, it was a first class professional wrestling match.
Good.
I'm not a fan.
You agree. All right, let me give you a clap because you agree with me. I'm glad.
I hate multi-man matches that are put together, just thrown out there for no rhyme or reason. This at least had a little bit of rhyme or reason to it. I'm still the type that would like to see maybe a triple threat or a four-way match maybe once or twice a year, so there's a reason to get excited about it. But again, one man's opinion. I thought it was eons better than the dog shit that was on that pay-per-view on Sunday night when John Cena Sr. almost got up and left.
Oh.
He thought it was so bad.
You know what's funny is I tuned in every little bit and I seen that. And you're like, no, they still got the scramble match. And he's like, what? I almost died.
Oh, well, we had fun in our own way. And I tell you this, you missed a tremendous, tremendous meal thanks to our dear friends over at Red Rose, 444 Main Street in Melrose. Check them out, redrosema.com. My God, they fed us like kings, kings. And they said, where's Dave Carter? I said, well, you know what? I said, he may like the Chinese food, but the one thing he likes better is just a little bit of chocolate.
All right. But yeah, so you agreed with me. Good match. Were you mad there wasn't a finisher? Or were you okay with it? Because I still don't know.
Well, you know how I am about that, too. I
Yeah,
think any sporting event should have some kind of a conclusion to it. But with a triple threat match, it's even more difficult to try and go with who gets DQ'd, who comes out the winner as a result of it, or, if someone's counted out. That's why, again, I don't like triple threat matches in four ways. I think they should be saved for something very special on a very rare occasion. Again, one man's opinion for those that love multi-man matches that seem to go nowhere with wrestlers that just vanish for minutes on end until it's their turn to come in and then the other wrestler vanishes. But, it set up a plot point leading to the big pay-per-view.
Right, and we'll talk about that as we go along. But after that, right after Adam Cole's leaving, Ember Moon comes running out, calls out Raquel. She comes out. They stop brawling all over, and security comes out again and breaks them apart. Dakota Kai ends up coming up behind Ember Moon and lays her out. And then we finally go to commercial break. But we got a lot, and I would say, about 35, 40 minutes worth of right there. I thought that was a lot into one, but I wasn't mad about it because everything had a plot to it. It had a little twist and a turn to it. I didn't really mind that it went that long because, like I said before we started, there wasn't much that happened on the show. It was like how they were promo heavy or anything like that. I liked this a lot, how they went right into the next thing. They have, you know what I mean? I really enjoy it. And I kind of like how they're spicing up this feud a little bit with Raquel and Ember because both girls are good. I don't know how you feel about them. You can say your piece in a second. But I do like that. I don't mind Dakota getting involved because that's the little twist because she is with Raquel. I like this a lot. I enjoyed this.
I don't think Ember Moon is all that bad. The rest, but no, it really was. It wasn't an overloaded NXT, so to speak. But the things that they did, were effective, and the things that they did all had reasoning behind it to try and again lead up to the big NXT in your house coming up, I believe, on Sunday, June the 13th. And you're even going to be absent from that one, Dave. You're breaking my heart.
I know. I'm sorry.
You're sorry. All right, you're up there plowing even though it's the winter time. I mean, even though it's the summertime now, you're still plowing.
No, not that.
No, I don't know about that.
But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I know what you're saying. Raquel doesn't do anything for you. You don't think she's a good big woman because she's a bigger woman?
No,
nothing.
Not really.
All right. Well,
I got to be honest. I'm not going to lie.
From there, we move on. We get LA Knight versus Jake Atlas. We have LA Knight coming out with a little promo down to the ring. You know how he does his little thing. A really good match. I thought it was at first. I even wrote it before I'd seen the outcome. I wrote it was a character builder match for LA Knight. I thought this was just going to be a good match, but he would get the win. But nope. Ted comes out. He's watching along because I'm a huge Ted DiBiase fan, and I love him being involved in this. Any way to get him on TV makes me happy because I've loved him since I was a little boy. So I'm very happy he's part of this. Cameron Grimes comes out, just starts laughing and stuff. It kind of throws LA Knight off his game, and Jake Atlas ends up pinning LA Knight, which I was shocked about. I don't know where they're going with this. I honestly thought maybe they're bringing back the $1 million title, and that's what LA Knight was going to become. But I don't know now, because that was a swerve to me. I did not see Jake Atlas winning this match. What did you think of it?
Well, Jake Atlas is someone that I see a lot in. I'm surprised they've had him lose so much, but at the same time, I wouldn't have LA Knight lose. So
right, and that's what I was getting at. Yep.
Sometimes I just wish I was there to insert a thought or two when they have these creative meetings to put the shows together, because it's just, why kill a guy before he's had a chance to get over? You know what I mean?
And you said, Jake Atlas has lost so much that LA Knight losing to him is like,
it hurts him. Yeah.
It doesn't build him up. It's not like, oh wow, we lost to Johnny Gargano. Oh wow, we lost to Bronson Reed. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
He lost to Jake Atlas, who everybody sees every week lose on TV.
Again and again and again and again. Very good,
right.
But he just loses a lot.
Right.
And you know what? I don't care what anyone says. Wins and losses mean something. I mean, you can do the occasional slip on the banana peel, but as far as on a regular basis, wins and losses, they have value. You know what? Have you ever seen a guy that wins a lot not get over?
Oh, right. And that's why it does definitely to people like me and you that watch it all the time, that pay attention, and then review the storylines, because you're looking at it like, he just lost last week, now he's winning. You know what I mean? I get it.
If you consistently win, you will get over. It's simple.
Right. Yep. What do you think about Ted being added to this? I know you love Ted.
I do. No, I think it's great that Ted DiBiase's involved. I wish they would find a way to incorporate legends like that more in a meaningful way, instead of those dreadful reunions that they do on Raw when they bring back 40 people and half of them get 20-second cameos, which
what I do like
none
about
of them
this
get over.
What I do like about this one, too, is it makes sense, because even though I know you're not big on Cameron Grimes, his character is based off like a Ted DiBiase character. So
yeah, it fits. It fits.
You know what I mean? So he fits the parts. Not like you just said with the reunion shows, they're just thrown in there, whatever. So I do like this. He's involved and it makes sense. Now I just wonder if it's some way to get the $1 million title back, because since they're bringing back so many, they brought back all these, things, and they have all these brands. Is $1 million?
I hope not. There's so many titles. I mean, why just add another meaningless one to the equation?
Right. Exactly. And that's what I was just curious. But yeah, other than that,
all right, wrestling fans, you know what? That's about the halfway point through the show. Let's take a brief time out. I know I'm getting ready for something tonight that's, forget about good. I'm going to call it great. Instead of just too good, I think it was just too great. Wrestling Insider Special Edition. We have JTG of Crime Time with us for the very first time at 7 p.m. Eastern. Then we're going to try and replay the premiere again at 10 o'clock. Great interview. We discuss what's going on in his world. A guy still in his prime that's maybe in the best condition of his life. We talk about his endeavors outside of wrestling, where he's done fantastic in. And we even talk about the unfortunate situation of the passing of his tag team partner, Shad Gaspard, which was just over a year ago. But right now, let's take a brief time out. We'll be back with more Wrestling Insider's current events after this brief time out. Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marty.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It was all over BostonWrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now available on eBay. As the Demon, he became the first WWE Universal Champion at SummerSlam 2016. Here's your chance to own this limited edition collector's autographed art print, personally signed by Finn Balor, one of only 50 made, direct from our friends at WWE. Also signed by original artist Rob Schamberger. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome collectible for your wrestling collection now.
Cheer. Why, hello. I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as
Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot, mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insider's Current Events. Again, we implore you to join us at 7 p.m. Eastern for JTG on Wrestling Insider's Special Edition. If you missed it, we actually slipped you guys a bonus one last week. Demolition Axe joined us for a couple of days of Wrestling Insider tapings, just to give you a little sample, a little taste, so to speak. And Dave loves to do that with some of his women up in New Hampshire. Just give them a little taste. Axe joined us to talk about the passing of Mid-Atlantic legend. I wouldn't call him a legend, but certainly Mid-Atlantic superstar, Don Kernodle, and some thoughts on a lot of other wrestlers that have passed away young. So if you love Demolition, if you love the Mass Superstar, check that out. That's available on the YouTube right now. It's a shorter version of our full-length episodes, but it was a really cool teaser. I don't know if you had a chance to see it yet, Dave, but I'm sure you're going to rush to the internet as soon as we're done if you haven't.
Absolutely, I will.
Well, I know you lived the JTG one because you were in the house in Florida.
What I was going to say is, if you guys want to watch a good one, I would say JTG was fantastic. WrestleMania weekend, that was fantastic. I mean, you guys do not want to miss that one. That one was phenomenal. You'll learn a lot. You'll see what he's all about. You'll see his new character, what he's building to. He's not more JTG. He's more Jay the God. Remember you asking him what that meant? So I really enjoyed him a lot. I think you guys will love it too. You'll learn more about him as himself too, not just his wrestling career. Dan does a good job with these, as you guys must know, watching all his shoot interviews. He gets more involved with just JTG, the man too, as well. I really enjoyed it.
What makes me happy is I don't want to give too much away, but I had a chance to speak with him yesterday, as a matter of fact, and we're trying to put together an in-studio visit sometime this summer. Is noted he has a little one that lives in Boston, so he is here from time to time. I'd love to have Jay here in the studio, and where he's got so much going on outside of wrestling, maybe he can try and whore the studio out like everyone else does.
That'd be great. I'd dig it.
And again, fans, as we continue I don't want to use the word beg, but certainly encourage the super chats, which are always open with that little gray $ symbol during the premieres, and asking you to check out the great merchandise in our Boston Wrestling eBay store, where you can find the link in the description box below. Never mind joining the Boston Wrestling Sports family on Patreon at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling, where you get early ad-free access to the Wrestling Insider shoot interviews. You get access to our acclaimed studio shoot interview DVD library, as seen by millions online and millions more on The Howard Stern Show. Patreon exclusive videos, plus the knowledge that you, yes, you, are helping keep professional wrestling legends working. Again, at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. If you guys can help with Patreon, eBay, the super chats, the live episode, the live cyber signings we're going to do this month, I am working on bringing you a first-time person, a WWF legend, to this studio in late June. So if you guys can help the cause, I'm working on something really, really cool. The thing is, it's not free. They don't come for free, guys. They love you, but they're working. You got to have the appearance fee, the transportation, the hotel, the printing, some of the studio costs that go along with it. I don't even know if I told you the Cecil the Lion story.
You
Did I tell you what he did?
No, you have not.
You're going to get a lengthy text then when this is over. But anyway, we're not going to bore the fans with that roaring beast that was pet by Gary Michael Capetta. We're going to continue with the second half of the June 1st, 2021 WWE NXT.
And what a way to start off the second half. We had Adam Cole heading down to the ring. He's pissed. He's mad. He's ready. He comes out and he says you're looking at the real number one contender right here. I've been gone for 2 months. I took out 2 of the 3 top stars just like that, he says. He wants the NXT title back. Sees right through Cross. Doesn't deserve to be in the ring with him, he says. Then Cross's music hits. He comes out with Scarlett. Says he signed here, and that's when Cole became not special anymore. Cole says, you're not on my level. Regal comes out angry again with that visual I love. And Cross basically tells him to shut up. I loved it, though, because, I don't know if you could speak like that to authority without in real life and not get, some kind of discipline. But you know what? He told him to shut up, and I thought it was great.
I think William Regal was on NXT last night more than Bobby Heenan was at WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, right? Cross says, I want everyone in that match at TakeOver. And then they just, kind of look at each other and everything. I thought this Adam Cole, I know you're going to go crazy, but Adam Cole is fantastic. His promo on Cross was so damn good. And you know what? The visual didn't bother me. I know it probably bothered you so much, but when he talked, to me, what he said made me not even look at the visual, much smaller he looked than Cross. You could tell he meant what he said, and he said it well. And he meant it. Like, the words, he didn't stumble over anything. He is such a good promo. I love it, man. I love it. I can't wait for this.
Well, I think the only thing we disagree on is that it looked like it was a little child trying to tell Karrion Kross off.
Yeah. But you know what? In wrestling, I think about this all the time, and I'm big on it too with you, is you can't just have big guy versus big guy. You got to have some small guys, because you know what?
No, but I mean, at some point.
And sometimes the small guy can beat the big guy. And you know what? With a promo like this, and let me finish, with a promo like this, I'm invested in the match now. If this promo sucked, and if Adam Cole sucked, and it wasn't a good promo, then all right. But this was a great, demanding promo. I loved it, and I'm bought in. I'm ready to go. I can't wait. Let's see this match, because I love all 3 of those other guys, so I know that's going to be fantastic. But with Cole in it too, because I think Cole's probably the smallest one out of all of them, other than maybe Kyle O'Reilly. But I think even Kyle O'Reilly's a little bit bigger too.
Would you agree with me to the point that, his arms look like little toothpicks compared to Cross?
All right, yeah, he's much smaller. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is it's like Conor McGregor versus somebody. Even if Conor McGregor was against Karrion Kross, I would say Conor McGregor kicked the shit out of him, because Conor McGregor has that swag about him, that talk about him, that kick your ass look, even though he's the smaller guy. And I think Cole possesses that. He comes out and holds himself at a high regard. He doesn't come out with slumped shoulders. He doesn't come out like he's intimidating. He comes out right in your face, and that's what sells me on him.
All right, you know what? I'll give you that part of it, to be fair. I just think that promo exposed how little he is.
You can look at it like that, but I don't look at it like that because of the promo. I guess if you see him and the promo sucks, yes, but the promo was so hot and so good that I forgot the size of the guy. I forgot the size of the bark and the dog. I forgot that because the promo
I didn't.
had me. I know you didn't, because you've said it from day one that he's a little child. I get it. But for me, I've been a fan of Adam Cole for years. Before ROH, I remember seeing him in the Indies when you know what I mean? So to me, I love it. What do you think of the whole match, though? That's what I want to talk about more or less. Because I know you hate those multi-man matches.
I hate the multi-man matches, but with all that great talent that they have in the match, how can you really go wrong? They'd have to really have a bad night at the office for it not to look good, come out good.
My question is let's just call it right now. I want to know your prediction. Does Cross lose?
If
If you had
he's
to say
going
right
to the
now,
main roster, yes. And I think with all the releases on the main roster, I could see a guy of that size going up very quickly.
I like doing these now just because I want to remember and I kind of want to just play it out. See, that's why I'm asking. So if Cross loses, who do you see gets it?
O'Reilly.
Yep. I like that. All I said was because I don't know. I think it's O'Reilly's time because they've been working on him a lot. I think Cross loses, like you said, and goes to the main roster because that's what I was going to say. And I think O'Reilly gets it because Cole can chase, and then Cole can end up on the main roster because obviously with all these releases, they're going to have to bring some guys up.
A lot of guys.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because we already talked about on Raw. There aren't enough guys.
No.
Now with all these
There's
releases,
less and less.
Less and less. So I do see Kyle O'Reilly running with the NXT title throughout the summer. So
well, I think he's right now would be the perfect representation for the brand. I think the only problem with Karrion Kross is there aren't a lot of big guys on that brand for him to go with.
No,
I mean, even as much as I detest Velveteen Dream, at least he was a little bigger,
Right. The only big guys they ever have is Bronson Reed, but he's the NA champion. And then you have Killian Dane, who's with Drake Maverick still, which I don't get. So,
please.
You know what I'm saying? So, there's really, like you said, there's not many big guys on that roster. So, I don't blame you.
And it's, you have to look at the financial. It's more cost effective. I mean, to have Karrion Kross on the roster, then I know Strowman had signed a monster contract for 5 years right around the time of the transition to Fox and the new USA deal and AEW coming into existence. I'm not sure about Aleister Black. I think I told you and joked about it, but for the first several months that Ricochet and Aleister Black were on the main roster in 2019, they were still working under their NXT deals, which is for, peanuts compared to the WWE contract. So who knows?
Really?
I have no idea what I'm sure he had to have signed a WWE contract at some point, how lucrative it was. I have no idea about Aleister Black. Yeah, but, Ricochet and Black, for the first few months they were on Raw in 2019, I mean, they were on NXT deals, where they were kind of known from the indies. Maybe they were in the upwards of maybe $75,000, so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. That comes direct from a friend of theirs on the roster. I don't know what Gargano and Ciampa were there so briefly. I really don't think it made a difference to them.
No, probably not, right?
No.
From there, we got Candice LeRae and Indy backstage. Indy has the what's it called? Headphones on or on her head. She's not paying attention to the interview. They're talking about their match and everything tonight, and all of a sudden you have what's her face? Candice looking at her like, "What are you doing? What are you listening to? Get over it." Pulls it off, and she's listening to 80s music. Yeah, so I don't know. They walk away. They put her phone down and the headphones on. Well, I don't know. I don't really understand this. I guess she's crazy about Dexter Lumis now. What do you think about this?
There's nothing I wanted to see, and I'm sure there'll be more of it, but those two are a turn-off to me. I have no interest in anything they do.
I figured you would say that.
Well, the answer is going to be honest, if nothing else.
Yeah. From this right here, we got Kushida versus Carmelo Hayes, which is Christian Casanova for people around here. Dude, first things first, he put on, 30 pounds?
He said 10 on social media. He looked bigger than that to me.
Oh my God, yeah. He's not on the juice. He can't be because he'll get popped. I don't know how he did it, but good for him, man. This was a coming out party because I really like him. I've known him for a while. I met him when I won't even get into it, but yeah, he's a really, really, really good guy, and I was happy to see the coming out party, and Triple H even talked about him on a tweet, so this kid's got some bright future with NXT.
Well, it was really one of those great times for me to see someone that I've known now since 2013, maybe, or I think December 2013 was when I met him for the first time, when we did
You
the
know,
event with Rob Van Dam in New York. And,
Awesome.
you know, even though he was part of that uprising faction, that in-ring, you know, you'd look at them as scumbags, but, you know, I know his backstory as a human being. I know how much he put into the industry to try and get to where he is now, and is going to continue to try and climb the ladder of success in the king of sports professional wrestling. I think if the fans knew his world outside of wrestling and what it took for him to get to WWE, I think they would have appreciated what they saw last night even more. I'm not going to tell that story. That's his story to tell.
I think eventually they will, though, for sure, because I think with Triple H tweeting that out, I really think they're going to build something up with this kid. He was fantastic. What a showing out.
Well, if he's a heel, you don't want to make him sympathetic, so.
No, but I'm talking about at some point. Not right now. You know that character will change. Is he a heel, though?
I think that's how it came across to me.
See, I didn't think so. I thought it was just a good match. I thought he just came out as a good match.
Really good match. And you know how much I like Kushida run. I'm sorry?
And they shook hands at the end.
I hate that,
but I'm just, well, I love it because I love Ring of Honor. But anyways.
No, you know what? When you're out there fighting someone that's trying to take money out of your pocket and injure your body, why do you want to be friends with them afterwards?
Yeah, but you got to remember, they do it even in MMA.
Fuck them.
All right, but anyways.
But I'm happy for him. He was someone that I'll tell you this, with everything we have coming up November 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, I thought he was going to be one of the odds-on favorites to become the first/new champion of the next generation of Boston Wrestling MWF. Unfortunately for us, that ship has sailed, but you know what? Good for him. I'm happy to see him in WWE. I'm interested to see where things go. He's not the biggest dog in the fight, again, but certainly for someone in that cruiserweight division, he is someone that could stand out and then some. I look forward to the day I get to see him on Raw or SmackDown.
Absolutely. Like I said, it was a good match, and they gave him a little bit of time. Kushida is probably a great person for him to open up a match with anyways.
Oh, yeah.
So this is great. Kushida won by pinfall, which obviously you probably thought most likely was going to happen.
Yes.
I was very surprised how big he is now, and just how fluent. You look like you've been doing it for 15 years, which obviously in the indies he's been doing it a while, but in the ring of WWE TV land is what I'm saying. And it was fantastic.
Well,
it looked like he looked like he belonged there.
I'm not going to pat myself on the back too hard, but I had been telling him for eons he needed to pack on some pounds. But you know what? Now that and I'll say this, you know, sometimes it's easier said than done with guys that don't have, with real life and trying to pay the bills and having a real life job outside of wrestling, to spend 2 hours a day at the gym. So now that he, his life basically is the performance center outside of the NXT events, he's had that time. And you know what? I applaud the man for it. I'm very happy for him. Once everybody gets done kissing his ass, I'm going to try to have a nice, meaningful conversation with him, because I imagine right now he's got 6,212 people that are all his best friends texting him saying, oh, good job, blah, 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 blah.
Right on. From there, we get your match of the night, probably. Zeta Ramir and Zoe Stark versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell.
Please.
Back and forth match. They're just trying to put some matches together for these tag titles. I mean, for the tag teams, I guess. Obviously, LeRae ends up hitting a wicked stepsister on Ramir. Hartwell drops on the elbow, and Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell end up winning.
Yeah, hell of a match. Hell of a match.
It was a decent match. It is what it is. Not much to talk about here.
Belonged on the AEW pay-per-view.
There we go.
That's about how good that one was.
From there, we get Ember Moon backstage, a promo about what happened to her earlier in the night. She's pissed. She's mad. She said she's going to worry about Raquel at TakeOver, but right now she wants Dakota Kai next week, which we find out she will face Dakota Kai next week after her jumping her earlier in the night. Quick little promo. I'm going to ask you, anything to say on top of it?
No.
All right. From there, we get the main event, which should have been the main event because this was a fantastic match. MSK, the tag team champions. This is for the NXT tag team titles versus Legado del Fantasma. Both are great tag teams. I love both of them. Good match. During the match, we get Grizzly Young Vets that come out, but Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa jump out of the, I guess, over the barrier or something to attack them before they could come down to the ring. They battle their way back through the back. They battle back and forth. The match was long. I'd say about 24 minutes. I think I wrote down.
You timed
24.
it even. Wow, I'm impressed by that.
Early, the main event, it was 9:36 was the time they started coming down the ring. And I was like, oh my God, usually it's a little bit later than this, but nah, it was good. From there, Bronson Reed, we had the match going on. Bronson Reed comes out and takes care of Santos, because Santos was starting to get involved a little bit, pulling legs and stuff like that. MSK ends up winning, pins Legado del Fantasma. Great match. I thought it was greatly done. I don't know why Bronson Reed's really getting involved other than because of Santos, but I thought they didn't need any of that. I thought they should have just left the main event the main event. What did you think?
I thought maybe there was a little too much to it outside of the actual context of the wrestling matches,
Right.
but I thought the actual wrestling itself was excellent. You know me, I love good tag team wrestling, and it was
Right on.
it was wild tag team wrestling, but I really enjoyed it.
I absolutely agree. I did too. What did you grade this week? Well, do you want me to go first? You want me to grade mine?
Why don't you go first?
I gave mine a solid 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it because there wasn't a lot of hoopla on here. It was down to the wire, and I love that Adam Cole promo. I still love it, and that made the show for me. And I thought the very first match was fantastic. I even thought the Kushida versus, like we said, Carmelo Hayes, he's known as now, was great. I thought every match was good. Could have done without the tag team women's match, but hey, you got to have one of those in there. That's just what it is.
You got to have a little dog shit on every week, I guess.
Well, you call it that. I'll just call it the tag team women's match. But yeah, I gave it a solid 7 out of 10. What did you give it?
You know what? You could just repeat what you said for me.
You got a 7 out. Wow, we
I gave
agreed.
it a 7 out of 10.
Hell yeah! Look at that. First week back in a month, and wow.
Yeah, this is our first NXT, I think, since the May 4th episode. So,
Yep. Wow. Other than that, that's all I got. There hasn't been no NXT news because remember, we're doing this right after. There hasn't been anything that come out. I mean, the releases are the releases. We probably should talk about those on SmackDown, I'm guessing.
you know what? Where it's kind of hot, and we could give it 3-4 minutes, real quick, just to use to hit the headlines, I guess.
All right. Well, if you haven't heard yet, we'll let you know. So far, this was a shock to me because I actually got it from you. I was getting out of the work. Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Lana, Murphy, Ruby Riott, and Santana Garrett have all been released today, which shocked the crap out of me. Not anybody else other than Braun. I could not believe that. I thought I had to read his name 3 times in that text message I got from you because I couldn't believe it. I just don't understand how they didn't see money with him. It's almost as bad as Ryback. I don't know.
From the main event of WrestleMania 36 as Universal Champion to
Yep.
Memorial Hall in Melrose, I think was the joke that I included. Not to say that we
exactly
booked
what
him
you
for
said.
anything,
Yep.
but
Exactly what you said.
you know what? Overexposed, overused. I hate to say it. The creative material they had for him wasn't the best a lot of the time, but I mean, coming out even out of WrestleMania, I mean, he worked with Stone Cold Shane O'Mac, and that's not a low position on the card itself. He was in I believe, the championship main event of WrestleMania Backlash, just on the last pay-per-view. To me, that one makes me wonder if maybe there is more than meets the eye to it, where he was a main event guy as opposed to, I mean, like you said, look at the rest of them. Is either show really going to hurt because they're not around? I mean, not having Lana on the show will improve them. Well, I'm just being honest.
No, you know why I'm happy about that? Because what do I say every week they're on TV? Naomi needs to be by herself. Lana brings her down.
I know who you want Naomi with.
Oh, boy. Leave me alone.
Mr. Hershey Carter himself, Dave Willis. But no, I mean, Aleister Black, God, wasted potential. I mean, he was so over when they first introduced him. He was over in NXT. And then I don't know who didn't like him in WWE, but I mean, fuck, there was a guy that went from having such a cool entrance, cool response from the fans to absolutely nothing. Murphy is a guy I looked at that, you know what? I think his ceiling was mid-card. He was very solid in the ring, could have some really good matches. But other than that, there was no charisma, there was no personality, there was nothing promo-wise. It was just kind of, Does that make any sense?
No, it does. And that's my biggest thing is that with all these guys, we always talk about them not having enough guys, and they're just releasing more.
I just keep waiting for like an influx of talent from NXT to come up to replace these missing bodies, so it's not 4 or 5 Reginald and Nia Jax segments each week, but they're not coming.
One thing I got to say, too, is thank God the owner of AEW has billions of dollars, because they're going to have to open up the pocketbook, because they're buying up a few of these guys right now. Aleister Black's going there, and Braun Strowman's going there.
And I would think Lana.
Yeah, and Lana, too, but that's just obvious because of Miro.
And I'd also say where their women's division is so piss poor, you know what? I may not be the world's biggest Ruby Riott fan, but you know what? I think she'd be a great improvement over most of what they have.
You know what? I don't even think I stated her name. So I'm glad you said that. I think I left her out. I don't think I said that one.
And even, you know what? I don't know. She may have been on the NXT TV show at some point, but, Santana Garrett really isn't that bad.
No, she's really. I've known her for a little bit. I met her down in Florida, but yeah, she's really good too. That one, whatever, but the rest of them, even Murphy will help a company out.
I mean, he's a fine mid-card talent. I mean, that's to me his ceiling. I don't see him as much more than that. I don't think he helped that atrocious faction that Rollins tried to put together with him and AOP.
It's still going on with Rey Mysterio's daughter, though. Do you think she'll come involved with him?
I have a feeling she goes where Rey goes. And I have a feeling we're not going to see her or Maggie Simpson again anytime soon.
Now, one other thing. Who's going to end up doing the promos for Aleister Black now? Do you think someone else is going to fit in, or do you think those are just bye-bye?
Well, maybe we're going to have to wait and see who knocks at the door for him.
Because I just don't get it. They were building that up, and then all of a sudden...
Yeah,
do you think that's a money issue?
No, I told you my thought process. To me, when you see house cleanings like that with any company, there's a reason behind it. And unless there's something going on with Strowman that I don't know about and haven't heard about, and I'm going to investigate today. But, that says to me, that's a contract they wish they didn't sign. And like I said, around that time of the guys that were lucky enough to get the big extensions, right when AEW started, which was almost at the same time, the Fox and USA Network deals began in October of 2019. He signed a very big money deal that they're probably saying, you know what? We probably could have done this for half of what we signed him for. And you know what? There are instances, and it just happened not too long ago, where there are guys they release that they try and bring back at a lower number almost immediately. So
you think they'll try to bring him back?
Honestly, I don't know enough about the situation to say. I know I would, but I don't know the circumstances behind the release. If it was purely financial, I would have tried to renegotiate with them even before the release. Instead of doing it, you know what I mean? Instead of doing it publicly. If I say, Braun, I don't even know how WWE could argue they couldn't afford it with the money that they have coming in right now. They've never been more profitable. They've never brought in more revenue. They can't cry poor mouth to anybody other than the fact that you could say we don't have any live events. But at the same time, they have live events coming again. So you're going to have ticket revenues. So
ask you this, because you're probably better on this than me. Has there ever been this many releases in 1 year for WWE?
I'd say last year.
It was more than this?
There were 30 people cut within a month of WrestleMania last year.
I'm talking about this whole entire year. I feel like there's been way more than 30.
In 2021?
I'm talking about between the wrestlers and the the office people.
See, that's kind of hard to say because last year there were so many people that were furloughed. I don't know how many of them came back, didn't come back, were eventually released.
All right, but
I don't know the answer to that question.
No, but don't even say that. Don't even go by that. Just go by that that if they came back or not, just gone at least by, whatever it is. Like, if they were furloughed or not, at one time, have you ever seen this many people?
I still have to say last year.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't think it was as many as this year. I just feel like every other day you're seeing these office people let go, these office people let go. Like,
I think it just might be a little bit more public last year. I mean, last year you were talking about every day there were a few dozen people being furloughed, laid off, fired, whatever, however their ending came to be in the company at that point. And that's not even including the wrestling talent and the agents and so on that were wrestling known personalities that fans, heard and read about online. I mean, it was a bloodshed in Titan Towers, even though Titan Towers wasn't Oprah. I'll say it's getting very close at this point, but I still think last year there were more.
all right, because I wasn't sure. I just go by, all right, that's cool. I had no idea.
No, I wouldn't call it cool, but
No,
no, I'm kidding.
I agree with you. But, yeah, that's all I got. I don't know if you have anything else to add on top of that.
All right, no, that's pretty much it, fans. Again, we implore you to join us, to join JTG of Crime Time tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We may even try and do a premiere replay at 10. What a great interview it is, talking about his current life, his endeavors in and out of wrestling right now, and unfortunately the passing of his best friend, Shad Gaspard, who died just a little bit over a year ago. I think it's just a great discussion. Forget about shoot interviews and things like that. It's a great life discussion.
It was very good. Very, like you said, I think that's perfect the way you just said that. It is. It's a great discussion. Very good.
And there's more to come. We taped several episodes with JTG when we were down in Florida. And like I said, when I spoke to, everybody says spoke to, when I texted with Jay yesterday, we were talking about having him come to the studio sometime this summer when he's in town visiting his little one. So I look forward to having him in studio along with the great Wrestle House episodes we taped.
Live action? What about a little live? Are you talking about doing a little live?
Little what?
Little live, virtual live, maybe signing, meet and greet or whatever.
If they're coming to the studio, we're going LIVE live, baby, just like Marty Jannetty, June 18th through the 20th.
You know what that means, fans. You gotta help keep the lights on, right?
There's not much more I can add than that. These fans don't want to believe me. The numbers for April and May were absolutely atrocious. There were a couple in May that went up. I was happy about that, but still a far cry from where we were from last August through the present. So we got to get these numbers up. For the Patreon fans, you guys are going to get the what we're going to call New Jack, the final episodes, all 6 of them, before they go out on YouTube. And the same can be said for the Demolition Axe interviews, where we have so much great content in the can. We're talking with so many other great stars, fans. Again, if you can help us with the eBay, with the Patreon, if you can donate even a little on the Super Chat, I'm trying to bring you a WWF legend later in June that we've never had here before in the studio, that I've wanted literally to bring for years, but is kind of a difficult get. But we've been talking, and it's potentially able to happen, but I need your help. I cannot do it without you.
What I want to tell you, one thing you mentioned, New Jack. I'm in one of those ECW fan things. I signed up once we knew he was coming in, so I wanted to join it, so I promoted it. They referenced your video was the last interview, live thing. You went live with them?
Yes.
They posted that inside the site. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope they do that with all the interviews once they come out. Maybe you can, if you're in this group, maybe you can share the link. Yeah.
That's relative, so I will for that one, absolutely.
Well,
once they start out, I will post it in that. But I just thought it was cool that it wasn't me that did it. It was just somebody that found it and said, and even wrote for their title that this was the last New Jack interview / live appearance.
Well, that's nice. It makes me feel good that the fan went out and did that. I thank them if they're listening to this. But I tell you, those final 6 episodes, especially the first one where he unloads on a few of his enemies, including Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, they are some memorable interviews, to say the very least.
Right on, man. I can't wait. Because I didn't get to see them all. I seen about 3 hours worth of them.
Oh, that's right. You were at the studio for a little while. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
and you had to leave because you had that work emergency. Right. Oh, the things I remember a month after the fact. Well, all right, folks, for my partner in crime, Dave Carter, I'm Dan Marati. We're not going to be back for one of these for a couple of days, because there's no Dynamite.
Yeah, no AEW.
Dynamite. When is Dynamite? Friday?
Friday at 10.
So we'll have to do 2 of them on Saturday, I guess.
Yeah, 2 of them, yeah.
All right. Well, for my partner in crime, Dave Carter, I'm Dan Marati. We'll see you.
Wait.
Whoa,
Hey,
whoa.
wait a minute.
Wait, whoa.
Unless you want to do an Impact review.
I think 2 on Saturday will be good. Even though, aren't they doing a marathon match with TJP this week?
Yeah.
Oh, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
Let me know.
I'll think about it. All right. Well, for Dave Carter, I'm Dan Marati. We'll see you at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with JTG. It's going to be just too great. Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marati.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Johnny, the momentum here in Boston Wrestling continues as we continue to build and build and build. The fans want to know, how do we help? We subscribe to the Patreon. But we see all the great merchandise on that set. Coronavirus may have killed the nightlife, especially for someone like Marty, but our acclaimed eBay store is open 24/7 around the world.
Wow. Check it out.
The Undisputed Era kicked ass and took no prisoners in WWE NXT. Now you can own this limited edition collector's autographed art print personally signed by Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. Also signed by the original artist, Rob Schamberger, one of only 50 made direct from our friends at WWE. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome collectible for your collection now.